Okay, we are gonna go over some VOD reviews for the Snark Knight here, which good name. Diamond One, Diamond Two, Captain America. First hero shooter or first shooter in general. And you find your game sense and fundamentals lacking. And you have a strong attachment to Cap. And me personally, I also have a strong attachment towards Cap. I have a Captain America shield behind me as we speak. Um, so yeah, I'm actually going to review. I know you sent two, but unfortunately I just don't have time for more than one. So I'm going to review this one because it's Cap. I have to, and I don't have much of to say in terms of the mechanics of Cap. I don't. I wish I knew how to play him. He's on the list of heroes to learn, but I will tell you sort of like the positioning and when to engage, when not to engage.
You have to stop that
So right here,
insecurity,
if you
Shay.
watch my video on like playing offensively and defensively, like on defense here, you want to not force any engages too soon. You want to try and do your best to wait until the right time to engage. You don't want to take anything too risky. So here they're starting to engage, and you're blocking, and you harass the back line. This is good. They kind of didn't do a whole lot there. You created some spaces like their Doctor Strange died. Just the threat of you is enough to spread the battle. But like right now, you're going in, and all you should be doing is that shield bounce is every single time it's off cooldown, is you should be throwing it in there to try and get some alt charge. And you see as they're already backing up and you're pushing pretty far, you're going to take a lot of damage for free out here. And I'm like, this is really dangerous. Like you get out alive, which is good. You're getting a bunch of alt charge for your supports, which is not a bad thing, like your absorbing abilities. But also at the same time, it's very risky in case you did die back there without your team. And at the same time, as you climb higher and higher, you might not be able to do that as much. So be careful pushing up like that. Like it works out now, but just be careful in the future as you start to rank up. If you start to die from diving that deep, wait until they fully engage and then go in. So here we can see Storm had already died, so they're down one. So you hard engaging on their backline is actually really good. Okay, you find Cloak and Dagger and you force resources out of her and you force this bubble. This healing bubble is really, really strong. I personally, if I was fighting Cloak, I think I would get the bubble out of her and then just run away and start pincering back on like the rest of the team and start punching someone else, right? Because she can just freely sit in that bubble and do whatever she wants and you can't kill her, right? So when that happens, the moment you jump on her and here and you see that bubble, hop up, leave, and start attacking someone else. Because now she doesn't have that bubble to save anyone else, right? So you just leave her and just like, you can go back and attack her after it's whoops, accidentally hit stop record. Okay, we're going back into it here. So, okay, yeah. Squirrel Girl ults and gets two, and since they're in that tiny room, it's a good time to engage. When you hear your team ult, it's good to engage. I don't know where Storm is. She's up above. You can't really do much about that because she's a flyer. Cool reticle, too. So you hear him portaling. So, yep, get up and start holding that space. Yep. This is good. You're creating space. You're holding them back. You're keeping them off the objective. You're doing damage. Okay, get out. Stay alive. There's a health pack. Be mindful as Cap of where all the health packs are. Right now, you're out here, out in the open, and there's a health pack right down there you could have grabbed. Also, there's the health pack in that room that you could have, while you were in there, like grab that, like as you were leaving. That's not a bad idea either. Getting saved by the cloak ult is good. It's good to be knowledgeable of where all the health packs are, just in case. Although, good attacking the strange because you can. This is pretty good because you're 2v1ing, bullying the Thor. This is all pretty good. I would go for her. Okay. Right here. She's on the outside. You go for her. You can't do anything in here other than like you'll be building your ult charge. But right now, you're around the storm and you're in her ult. You can't do anything. go attack the people on the outside of the support ult and force them. Like what you're going to do is you're probably not going to be able to kill her, but what you will do is she'll get nervous and she'll walk into the ult and force her in. So that way, when the ult wears off, she doesn't really have too many places to go. She's like in the thick of it with her team. Yep. And she's going to use all of her abilities. She's going to fade. Okay. Where you looking for? You looking for? The moment that you see a cloak and dagger fade like that, I call it fade. I don't know what the actual name of the ability is, but when she goes into the cloak mode and does a little thing and she disappears, that's her using one of her get out of jail free cards, her defensive abilities. So after you see people use those abilities, you want to hop right back on them again as fast as possible. Okay, and then she's gonna ult, which is predicted. You're basically just gonna negate each other's ults, and I don't have a problem with this here because you're just gonna be building ult charge. Right? But the moment that ult charge wears off, who do you want to jump on, right? The supports. This is good.
Only 60 seconds left.
I don't think you could have done anything differently there.
By the eye of Agamotto.
So from what I understand, and I would need you to double check, but your shield bash, if you time it right, you can actually dodge, I think, all forms of CC, which includes Doctor Strange's ult. So if you hear that, you might be able to like hit circle and dash through it and avoid it. You're standing in the damage. This is not a good spot because it's like too open. You are standing behind cover, but like this area is a little bit more safer. Or you could have run back around there and like gone towards like the health pack or something. This is pretty dangerous, but also at the same time, like at the same time, you had the right idea. You were standing behind cover. It's just that because of I think like the angle of how this curves is not enough cover, but you still had the right idea. It's just you didn't know until
30 seconds.
they killed you that you're like, oh, it's not entirely safe.
Beholds the god of thunder.
He's not doing anything. It's attack, apply pressure. Nice.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Attack. Watch her drop the bubble. Now go to someone else. Right? Yeah, we'll get out. Yep, get healed up. Just back out. Let it happen. When you see ults like that, like big, like DPS ults, where are you going? When you see big DPS ults like that, like, yeah, you can just get out and just kind of like stay alive. And now, like, what you're trying to do is as tank is you want to keep this objective from moving up as much as possible. And you want to try and do that with as much, space as possible. Right now, I feel pretty confident because of the fact that your cloak still has ult, and they're down one. So I feel pretty good and confident, like walking up there and taking a fight, even with just like a solo cloak ult, because you also have your ult coming up here. And now that Squirrel Girl ults, you engage. That's not bad. Turn back on the Strange. Yeah, you can't reach him. So yeah, see, Strange. Okay, so let's look at that again. Watch how, like, you punch him. Look how low he's getting already, right? And Invisible Woman's back there. It's not bad that you, like, you go to, like, force her out, but then you turn back around. What you want to do as tank a lot of times is as a tank, especially like a dive one like this, you can pull out a lot of resources on people so that way they don't have them to use on your enemies. So let's say from like a top down perspective, right? Like you have your team over here and you have the enemy team over here, and what you are going to do is you are going to dive into their backline, right? And attack like a support or something back here. And what's going to happen is their tanks are going to push up like this. And what you're going to do is after pushing and taking abilities away from the supports back here, you are then going to path back around after you know that you can't do anything to like kill them, like cloak or something like that, like they get away or they use resources. You pull back around and you start attacking the tank in return. So then it becomes sort of like this moment where you've then pincered the enemy tank in this position, and they're having trouble getting out, and they can't fully get healed because they use their resources. You know, the enemy supports use the resources on themselves to stay alive. I hope that makes sense. So right here, so they're ulting, staying alive. Yours cloak ults. This is good. This is good. What you're doing right there and standing on the payload and just keeping it from moving is really good. Yeah, like right here, attacking to pull the Thor off of your team is good. The hard part about playing Cap, from what I can tell, is understanding when to dive the backline and when to attack the tank. Like that's the hardest part. There you go. You know that they're down, so you can apply that pressure. Yep. Dude, it never gets old to me. It's just when you see Cap punch and swing, just thunk, 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 thunk. But yeah, when you can see like when a support doesn't have their abilities, that's what happens, right? So as you do, like I'm talking about, where you know, you go in and out like that, you're trying to find those situations where you go in and attack the back line and cause a bunch of havoc, and then come back around and attack like the front line. And then you can go back in again whenever it's just like you're pulling resources out of people constantly because they feel like they can't rest.
You stopped them in their tracks.
Careful, like, oh, this is good, actually. You're pulling out resources before they even get a chance to engage, so that's not bad. He's pushed in. You could probably attack him. I don't know if the bash was missed, but yeah, look how low Thor got, right? If you... Oh, he's so low. Look how far he gets into your back line here. You might have just missed the dash. But if you were attacking him that whole time as he pushed in front, that's that pincer attack that I'm talking about, where you know, he pushed into your team and was like really deep as your team was like backing up and kiting him, and his team was so far away that if you just went to the backside of him and started punching him, it would have been enough damage to kill him and finish him off. And right here, you're playing very passively, despite the fact that you have your ult, right? And you can be a little bit more confident with your ult, because Doctor Strange just got them both low, but you were too far back. And like, you know, you have full health, you have a shield, you have an ult, you have a Luna ult. You know, you're holding this objective, and Doctor Strange is currently using it as cover as well as his shield. Like, you can play a little bit more confidently.
Behold the god of thunder!
This is unfortunate because of the fact that you basically doubled up your Captain America ult and your Luna ult, and it's best to stagger those things back to back. I know it was probably an accident; it wasn't intentional, but you definitely want to sort of use them not at the same time, because it's kind of just overkill. Like, odds are nothing's going to die in Luna ult anyway, so you want to try and hold on to that as long as possible. Not as long as possible. You want to hold on to it and stagger it afterwards in case you still need it. So here, attack the backline. Now back to the front. Good. Blocking for your Luna to get out. Nice job. Help your Thor. Get the Thor off. Yep. There you go. Get him out. Right here, attacking the supports. Not bad. Okay, right now you're doing a bunch of like running and jumping around, and this isn't a bad thing. There's actually a lot of Captain Americas that like do this strat where they run around, jump around, and cause a bunch of attention and distraction. But what you should be doing is jumping over this cart over and fucking over again. Like, just repeatedly jumping over the payload, because then when you're on the payload, when you're touching the payload, it stops moving. And right now you're jumping around and creating chaos, but this is still moving forward. Jump all around over this thing if that's your plan, in order to like charge your support ults up and, you know, pull out resources and stay alive. Because like right now you see that's the bubble from, yeah, it's the it was the bubble from Cloak and Dagger. Yeah, so you see Cloak and Dagger use the bubble, right? So during this time, jump up and down over this thing, getting healed by your supports, charging their support ult up, and keep this objective from moving forward. And then the moment that this bubble runs out, you target her really hard. Okay. Yep. There you go. See, because like even just the threat, uh, even just the threat of you, nice. Even just the threat of you forced Cloak to use her ult because she was like, well, I can't heal my team with the bubble, so use this instead. Now jump on her, jump on her. Okay, so she used the bubble again. Pull out more resources. Yep. Invisible Woman died. Attack her, attack her, attack her. Go for her. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. I want you to remember how easy that was for you and how good that must have felt, right? When she drops her bubble, you're just completely whacking her over and over and over again with your shield, just thunk, 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 and nothing happens, right? And the moment that like you engaged again on top of her when she had none of her cooldowns, how quickly she fell down, right? Like when you see that she doesn't have those cooldowns, especially with Invisible Woman dead, like she's just going to die. If Invisible Woman is alive, Invisible Woman has to invest all of her resources to keep her alive. And then you're pulling the attention of two people for sure. With that bubble, Cloak can keep you distracted without having to do anything. So that's the trick there is like if Cloak did have her bubble up and she was alive and she was back there, I would have left her, turned back around, and started attacking this guy who I've now pincered. Oh, this is double ult, so now you just need to survive. Yeah, get out, get out, get out, get out. Run, 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 run. Good health pack. Okay. I just honestly would have stayed all the way at the back and just like stayed alive. I would grab the health pack now so that way I have health to get ready to go out there because I'm going to have to stall it. It's good. Okay, you're touching at the last second. Yep, keep running around, jumping. Yeah, unfortunate. You got enough alt charge from the supports. I personally would have grabbed the health pack just in case, but like honestly, like it wasn't bad to go get support ult charge. You had enough time. And right here, that is just unfortunate. You know, maybe if you could have stalled a little bit more time out, you know, you would have had a chance because like Luna was really close to ult. So if there's other times, like if you had held you know, if you had held the objective a little bit more earlier, like I said, like when you're just running around, jumping it, and you're keeping it from moving, and you're getting out and coming back in and jumping all over it, and just keeping this thing from moving forward, you might have had enough time to, you know, a few extra seconds to just uh to be able to stay out there, you know, to not engage as early or whatnot. Like, you know, a lot of this game is just when you're playing around the objective is buying those few extra seconds every place you can get. Like it makes the games easier, you know. That's the reason why my videos are like, you know, here's how you spawn camp to get a few extra seconds. Uh here's how you stagger someone to get a few extra seconds. Everything you're doing is sort of just like how do I get a few extra seconds to hold off this space as long as possible? How do I extend it to make it so there's two fights instead of one, right? That's what I want you to think of, especially when you're playing tank. Your job is to defend objectives or keep them from moving forward and do that the best you can by using your health as a resource. And you know, if you take this much damage and you get back out and get healed and go back in, like, and you've been, you know, stalling the whole time, like that's really useful.
I never stay down.
This is your team dead, so you need to reset. He dies still, but I do want to say that I have taken notice of the fact that like you're very good at like, you know, trying to dive in, shield for your allies and get them out. Like you are tanking really, really well. Uh, you know, there's not too much actually to say in terms of like what you're doing. Like in terms of like tanking, like you are tanking correctly. Like you're doing a really good job. It's just a matter of like finding those targets that you pull resources out of and then attacking them afterwards. There you go. There you go. Squirrel's going in. You can go in too. You have your ult and they're down one. Attack. Okay, she pushed you away. Attack her. Attack her. Attack her. Okay, so you forced her ult. You can't kill anything in here. Who can you attack? Good, good, good. Staying alive. Yep. That was really good. And now the Invisible Woman ult is down, right? Invisible Woman ult is down. Bubble is down. She might have push and pull back up in a second, which is the only thing that can keep you off. But like if she has her push or pull, don't use your bash or your dive on her. Wait until she uses it by running at her. And then when she uses it, do one of those two abilities to close the gap on her. There, you got healed. But you know now that Cloak and Dagger, right now in this moment, you know that Invis Woman doesn't have her ult, and you know Cloak and Dagger doesn't have her bubble. I would be immediately, like, as I have health, I don't know, maybe you're waiting for your team or something. Like, we're losing time here on the payload. I would be jumping on that support, right? Cloak just used her fade, and she doesn't have her bubble. She's right there. That's... it's good. Maybe your Strange was announcing that he was going to have an ult, or announcing he was going to ult, but yeah, that worked out because focusing people on the ult is the right play. That's good. Okay, okay, you just saw. There you go. There you go. I would just get up and make sure you survive. This is good. There you go. Yeah. You see how easy it is for you to take out supports when they don't have their abilities? You just bully them. Yep. Now you bully her. Just stand on the objective and stall it out. Nice. Well done. Bully, 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 bully. Nice. That was really good. Honestly, that was actually really, really good.
0, 2, 2. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on.
All those crises I quietly
The battle
put
starts
out,
in 5,
you have no
4,
idea.
3, 2, 1.
Pentagram of Parala. I'll be shipshape in no time.
And now, once again, you can't hit the flyer, so what are you going to do? Find them, pull out the resources. There's one resource. She's low. You're not going to kill her. You're not going to kill her in this bubble. Immediately, especially as, like, now you can see they're all, like, looking at you and collapsing on you. Anytime any person has this many people looking at them, even if you're a tank, get nervous and leave. You can go... Maybe you can go up here. There's a health pack over here. You have a lot of your team, some of your team at least still up here. You have a health pack. You have a health pack up in this room back here. I just realized this is your Namor. He shouldn't be here for obvious reasons that are about to. He's about to find out in literally a second. Because you are about to die as well. Yep, and now your team is going to stagger hard, and everyone else is going to fall and die really quickly, but not quickly enough because.
All right, don't rush in.
Yep, 1, 2, 3. Did she get out? 4. Okay, now I want everyone to use this as a lesson. After you realize that fight is over, because of the fact that they decided not all to die at the same time, they lost like 25 seconds. Oh, wait, more, like 30 seconds of regrouping time. And when you only have 4 minutes to take the point, 30 seconds is a really long freaking time. So when you know the fight is over, you have one of two options. You can run into the enemy and start attacking them to like get yourself killed, or you can jump off a cliff. Like either way, it's better to, when you know the fight is over and you know you can't win and you're just running for your life and you can't get out, just die and reset. You can save yourself so much extra hassle.
That's the boost I needed.
Okay, once again, we're going to go in. You're diving with the magic. Good. I will say the magic went in a little early, but You are surviving. Get in front of the Luna so she sees you. During this time, instead of dashing, like jumping out, right? Like, once again, as Captain America, know where all the health packs are, right? There's a health pack over here behind this wall. You get cover and you get healed. There's a health pack in this room. There's, like I said, there's a health pack up in this area here. There's another one like I've up here and go back that way, and you'll see one in the previous room. Like there's a lot of health packs around. Dive to the health packs, right? That will take some of the pressure off your supports, healing you as well. And you, because you sprint and run so fast, you can get in and out really easily. Scroll Girl ults, which is really good. Now, now it's just cleanup. Good.
Did I just beat Thor?
The fact that you can tank and dive in there and stay alive a lot is really beneficial. I see why you at least like made it to diamond with Cap. Like, I feel like it must have been relatively easy to get to diamond. Yeah, Cloak, your team is just doing silly things. Diamond players do that. They get a little too confident sometimes.
To its destination.
He's gonna die. He shouldn't be there. That's why. So this is what happens, like as you play more and more, you start to see the threat before it's there. You start to understand that, like, oh, looking at the health and knowing the resources that they have and what I have, I'm about to die, right? He probably assumed his team was there, but like realistically, what that Doctor Strange should have done is just stood behind this wall, gotten healed, and then walked out. It was too dangerous to walk up there with that many people looking. When you have low health as a tank, I don't know what you're doing here.
I like the cold.
You should be moving up into that space already. But anyway, when you have low health as a tank, right? Just sit still behind cover. Don't use your shield to block. Don't poke out. Sit still, get healed to full, and then walk out. Because sometimes what I see people do, and I have seen you do it a little bit here, is you're getting healed while you're holding your shield up. And you're holding your shield up because of the fact that you are already missing health. Literally, what I want you to do when you're missing health, you need it to get to full. You know, like when you're like really low and you're missing this much, sit behind cover, get yourself healed up to full, and then walk out. And then when you walk out, just taking that extra second means that you have a full shield of health, and you have full health as well, and you're ready to charge your support ults yet again. I'm not mad by this. Look at this. You're going to force your team to walk forward by playing aggressive. Like you're like, we're going to make a play. Okay, she makes an ult, so immediately, what are you going to do? Looks like your team is your team fighting something over there, or that's just like the red? No. Okay, 2 people are dead. 2 people are dead. You heard Hela ult. You could probably still be attacking wherever Hela is at hitting. Now's the time to get out, though. Okay, the timing was off there. You heard Hela ult. He's low. Okay, like this is the one time you didn't need the health pack right away. You could have stayed up there a little long. Okay, so you hear Hela ult, which means that now that she's out, now that Hela is ulting, now is the time for you to tank and take up a distraction, right? Like start attacking this invisible woman. Start attacking the cloak, right? Like you force that resource, start attacking the next resource. You're okay. You're okay. Like you have full health here, and Hela is still ulting. You could stay there, right? And you can still be playing somewhat aggressive, seeing if you can't get anything out of the rest of the team. But you're playing a bit passive now, and then you go in, and then you start attacking. But now the timing with you and your Hela is just off, right? Now she's dead, and now you're going in, and you have no one to follow up with. Tanks don't do a lot of damage, but they're really great if they time their engages with their DPS. Then that's when the kills happen. That's the reason why, like, you hear Squirrel Girl ult, you dive in. You hear, you hear Hela ult, you dive in. When you hear your teammates ult, you dive in. But you went in afterwards, and your Luna didn't want to ult in the previous fight or that fight. I don't know what's going on there. This is the thing, is like as you climb up, like what's going to help you win your games is going to be like tiny seconds of differences. Like, you know, if you would have just changed your timing by like 4 seconds there, it might have meant the difference between you losing a fight and winning a fight. Bullying him, bully, 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 bully. Yeah, see, like, even though he's not dying, you're forcing a bunch of resources on him. Okay, so your team counter ults, which is good. And then your Luna doubled up on the support ult, which is bad, but you're pushing them back. Okay, yep. Now get off of her and find somebody else.
By the eye of Agamotto.
Wow, really good job there blocking the Doctor Strange. But you know Cloak doesn't have her bubble. Remember what I was saying? You know Cloak doesn't have her healing bubble, so what should you be doing right now? Jumping on this one. I would ult right now. Keep attacking, keep attacking. If your team needs ult to stay alive, yep. You hesitated on your ult after you had already used 2 support ults. I probably would have just like gone for it. Your ult is like a 3rd support ult. Keeps them alive. So here you're peeling Thor off your team, but now it's too late. And she's gonna die. Cloak dies for some reason. I will say this one is a bit rough because your team is getting a bit silly. You are doing really well. Okay, there you go. You see Cloak's bubble. You can kill Cloak if you have team follow-up. If you have team follow-up and she's got the bubble, then you can attack Cloak in the bubble. But if you don't have team follow-up and she's in the bubble, leave the bubble. There, she used both of her that bubble and that circle ring are her get out of jail free cards. She doesn't have those. She's extremely weak. And for dive heroes such as Cap or even Psylocke, that is a juicy target. There you go. All of the supports use their abilities now to basically defend themselves. But now you go for Invisible Woman instead of the Cloak. But you just saw Cloak use both of her abilities. And now she's going to double jump away using her other one, and now her bubble's going to be back up. Yep. You are creating space and getting them to use abilities. However, once they use those abilities, you should be pressuring them even more. Because that Cloak was way overextended. Used both of her abilities, and then you got distracted by the Invisible Woman, and then you went back to the Cloak, and by then, her cooldowns have reset. And now, you know, then you end up dying as your team's just unable to do something with the space you've created. But also, like, you know, you have kill potential there. You can't do anything about the flyer. Good. Yep. At this point, just charge your ult. This is just craziness. Everybody is ulting at once. Nothing's gonna die. Just charge your ult. As long as you know that like support ults are on the ground, just whack. Thunk. Charge that ult up. But you see, I want you to take notice of every time that you kill that freaking Cloak, right? Every time she doesn't have abilities, you destroy that Cloak, right? You are quick. You are quick at it. You are good at it. Recognize when supports use those abilities and when you get them to use them, and just jump on them every time. And this is true for any hero, by the way. Every hero, like when you don't have your shield or your shield bounce or your dash, when you recognize that you don't have your abilities, how weak you feel, right? How scared you are of being like in a bad position. That's the same for those people too. Recognize when they've used those abilities and how you can pressure them. It's not bad to collapse on this dude. Yeah. Nice. I thought personally you were going to go for the Invisible Woman, just because right here you saw Invisible Woman. I personally, when I know I've taken out one of their supports, I immediately go into harass mode of finding the other one. I'm like, oh no, even if you don't kill her and all you do is distract the last support, everyone else on the team is not getting healed. These guys aren't getting healed, which means that these guys are going to have an easy time just killing him, because then all she can do is stay alive and they're just going to get walked over. As soon as you take down one support, just take down the other one, or just, you don't even have to kill him. You can just distract him. And you turn back around to peel for your team and get pressure off, which is not also a bad idea. It does work here, but yeah. I'm just saying, for me personally, as soon as one support's gone, I'm going for the other one. Because watch, see how like, oof, man, your team just like gets annihilated. This is good. It's not the worst. It's a storm ult. I do appreciate how long you were stalling that out. This is good. Your team's bringing it back at least. Let's just storm things. Do the shield a little early. There you go. Attack the backline. You got 2 supports. That's 2 for 1 attention. That's really good. You see the bubble? Turn back around. Oh, wait. No. She's out of the bubble. Do you need to ult now and keep your team alive? Yep. Attack. She used the bubble. Attack someone else.
Behold the god of thunder!
I like that. I actually like that play. Because of the fact that their team had to be back here. They were too threatened by this, the cloak ult, the Hawkeye, and the Doctor Strange, and you peeled back around and pincered the Thor, who was out of position. This is where, once again, target priority is there's high priority targets like supports, but really who you're shooting and who you're attacking is the person who's out of position. Thor was out of position, which made for an easy kill. Good. She used her push, so you know she doesn't have it. Stay on her. So the moment, attack her. Force that. She uses the bubble, and the moment she uses the bubble, I would have immediately looked back towards Invisible Woman. Luckily, she got killed by the Hawkeye. And now, that all worked out. You went in. So what happened is you went in. You forced resources out of everyone, right? Like Invisible Woman had to use her jump to get away. Cloak had to use her bubble on herself so she couldn't use it on her teammates. And she had to use the Fade on herself so she couldn't use it on her teammates. So then you turn back around and you attack the people who don't have those abilities that could be used on them, and you attack them instead. Imagine if she threw the bubble down, maybe perhaps on like Doctor Strange or something, right? Whack, 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 thunk, 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 thunk. Right now, we're just pushing the payload. Once again, I'm going to tell this to everybody until like I'll scream it from the rooftops. The payload moves fastest when you have at least one person on it. Yes, it will move without people. However, you get the biggest boost in speed when at least one person is on it. It moves incrementally faster after that. So if it's like, if it moves, it gives you a speed boost of, like, hypothetically, we're just going to say it's hypothetically, we're going to say it's +3, right? And then you have 2 people on and it goes +2. And then you have a third person on, it's +1, right? You still get the fastest when there's like one person on there. I can't remember the exact speed, but you always want to make sure that like one person has taken the job of standing on the payload. Usually in this situation, it would be Cloak because of the fact, wrong side. It would be Cloak because of the fact that she can hit from her heels from range. So here, you're just trying to create space. You don't have to engage just yet. And the reason why you don't have to engage is because of the fact that your payload is still moving. So be cautious of engaging too early. And just, do your best to sort of poke, build your ult up. And, at this point, you should also be telling Luna to hold back on the heals as you want to go in and intentionally take damage and tell your Cloak specifically to heal you. Because like right now, you're going in a little early, and the problem here is uh, your timing is just a little bit off because of the fact that the payload is all the way back here. So your supports have a much harder time seeing you and healing you. You do have the snowflake on you, which is helpful, but it would also be even more helpful if cloak and dagger were there, were able to see you too.
Supernova!
Pull the resources out. Okay, good spot on the Thor and turning to target him first. This is unfortunate because of the ults. It was good. As soon as the bubble's out, alt now, alt now, alt now, alt now, alt now. You're gonna die. Yeah. The problem with this is like you ult, but now I can tell you already, you've already lost your Luna, which was like your win condition to make sure that she stayed alive. Doctor Strange, he did get a little bit of shield, as you can see, but he's got such low health, he's not going to be able to use it to his advantage, and he's going to drop probably before he gets a chance to really use it, or he's going to spend the whole time just holding his shield up as he like waiting to get health back. Because Cloak is close to ult, but yeah. So if you would have just not hesitated on your ult and used it there, Luna could still be alive, Doctor Strange would still be alive, and you'd have more people to stall out this point. That's good. At least you have the cloak ult, but pull the resources. So we just saw Cloak and Dagger double jump. You know the bubble is down. Both of the supports are now missing their key abilities to keep them alive. And I say this because of the fact that you're up against two flyers, so you can't really do anything about them. So these people on the ground are your primary targets, and like when to rotate in and pull those resources out and when to attack them is all just dependent at the moment. But like right there, she used her push, yeah.
Final score 2-3.
Honestly, I know this was a loss, but it was a really close game. And it was a really good game. You do a lot of things really, really well as tank already. Going in, blocking for people, shielding, knowing when to like defend. Like when Doctor Strange ulted and you went in there and held your shield up and just like shut him down from being able to attack. That was really, really well played. Seeing your teammates are trying to get out and you dash in front and hold the shield up and back up with them. Really, really good, solid tanking there. The only thing I can really say that would really help like level up your tanking experience here is knowing when to recognize like when you've pulled out those resources out of people, when it's time to keep fighting them and when it's time to back up, right? When like Cloak and Dagger is going to bubble herself and get healed inside of that, you can't kill her. So just immediately just jump to somebody else because now she can't use that bubble on herself, right? She wants you to waste your time just dealing with her. And because it's just a one-to-one trade at that point. She's got your attention, you've got hers, and you're coin flipping to see whether or not your team wins or loses that fight. And you want to be able to, pull that attention and pull those resources out, and then immediately after, like let's say Cloak is here, your team is over here, right? Doctor Strange is here. You jump in and attack her. She uses her defensive abilities on herself, and then you're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to waste those few extra seconds dealing with you. I'm going to go back around and I'm going to attack this fool. And now this guy is going to be like getting punched in the back. He's getting shot in the front, and he's going to be like, "Where's my heals?" And she's like, "Well, I used them on myself." Right. And just the same as like when, and after that happens, all you do is after you kill the Doctor Strange and you loop back around on the Cloak and attack her now. Recognizing when people have used those abilities and used those cooldowns and when they're at their most vulnerable is going to help you immensely. Because that right there, like your ability to rush them and rush them down and your confidence in playing cap is going to help a ton. Because I feel like you clearly know what you're doing on cap. Like, I like the way that you rotate in and out. I like the way that you're attacking people. I like your combos. It's just a matter of knowing when to engage, like when they start actually getting close to contesting the payload and when you can start creating that space is going to help you. Uh, not hesitating on your alts or not double stacking it with your support alts is going to help you immensely. Uh, but um, but other than that, overall, I feel like honestly, like I'm kind of like the stuff I'm pointing out is stuff that is in this game like seconds worth of difference. But it would have ended you up with a win this time. But I feel like I'm almost nitpicking you because your tank play here was actually really really well done. But yeah, when you have, especially like when you recognize like it's last fight, you've used uh, both of your support alts, right? Like where are we? Yeah, right here. So
Some help.
right,
That's the boost I needed.
Down to 30 seconds.
Strange's ult is done. Luna's ult is done. You almost have yours. The moment you get this, you should be popping it like right now. The moment that like right here, you see you have ult. Luna's still alive. She still has a decent chunk of health. Strange still has a decent chunk of health. Like you have 18 seconds left. You're not getting a chance to walk back out of spawn again. This is do or die. You need to hit that ult. And instead you waited 8 seconds before you use it again. That hesitation right there might have been, it probably was like one of the things that just like cost you the game. Like, uh, in those moments, especially when you know that you've just used like everybody on both sides have used their ults. And that right there could have been what you needed to, push it over to the win. It was just that slight hesitation. There's just a couple of times where you change your timing by like, you know, switching your target in this moment or 4 seconds here or 8 seconds here, like that would have been what helped you secure the wins in these games. But you make these slight adjustments and not hesitating, not stacking alts, and knowing to target prioritize. People like when Invisible Woman doesn't have her push and doesn't have her double jump, like you target her. When Cloak doesn't have her bubble on her, you target her. Uh, those are the things that are going to be what helps you win your games when it becomes a lot more calculated. Because I feel like right now you got really far off of just really strong tanking in general. And now what you need to do in order to get to GM is have that ability to pinpoint target like your dives and be like, this is the person who's at their weakest. This is the person who made a mistake. Uh, because that's what makes dive heroes really, really strong is not their raw damage, but their ability to specifically target someone, right? Like uh Strange is a tank that has a lot of damage from his E, but he doesn't have the mobility to dash and get to people. So what you have is mobility, and that mobility comes with target prioritization. And your target prioritization will be what wins you fights and what wins you games. Is who you choose to target prioritize and when is going to be what makes, a good dive hero like a carry. But yeah, just make those slight adjustments, and I have a feeling that you will easily get to GM and easily climb in GM as well. Because what I saw here from your cap already is really really strong. So yeah, I got nothing else to say after that. That was a really good game. It was a really close game. You played really well. I've really enjoyed watching you tank. And yeah, whenever you see a cloak use a bubble again, just ignore her and start punching the tanks in the back of the head or something. Like, you know, uh, hop back on them when you know the cooldowns are down and get those rotations and you'll be good. Oh, and start to know where every health pack location is in every single level. That will help you a ton too. Anyway, that's all I got to say for this one. Thank you so much for submitting it. It was a lot of fun. I love Captain America, so this was great to do. And yeah, if you rank up, let me know how it goes. And yeah, thanks again.